Okay, let's continue working on Lesson 8 in Module 3. When we give paper pencil tests, which our class was supposed to have, we put these little boxes on the test so you could use them to draw, like what we just did with the Shark Tank problem. Alex is probably not going to give you those. I haven't looked at the test yet. I haven't made it yet. But I'm guessing it's not going to give them to you since it's on the computer. So I would recommend when you're doing percentage problems to draw a box like this to help you picture the answer like we did before. So when I look down here, I go, wow, those percents are all multiples of 25. 25 times 1, 25 times 2, 25 times 3, 25 times 4. So that makes me want to divide this into 4 pieces, because this would be 25%, this would be 25%, this would be 25%, and this would be 25%. And you're like, maybe some of you are going, well, how did you know that? Well, 25 times 4 is 100, because remember, this is the unit. This equals 100%. So when I saw they were all 25s, that was just my idea to break them into 4 equal pieces of 25. It says the entire unit represents $16. That's from right there. Label the percentage and the dollar amounts, and then fill in the blanks. So we already labeled the percentages, and again, we know since they told us this is the unit, that this is 100%. So the whole thing's 100% because it's the unit, and then they told us that it was 16. So now my question is, how do we find out what goes in each box? Well, the boxes are supposedly, quote unquote, equal. So we need to divide 16 into 4 equal pieces, right? So 16 divided by 4 is 4. So do you all agree that that would mean each piece is $4? So if the whole thing's 16, this is $4. This piece is $4. This piece is $4. And this piece is $4. And whenever I do this, I always check my work. I think, do the 4% add to 100? Because they told us this is the unit. Do the $4 amounts add to 16, which they said the entire unit are. 4, 8, 12, 16. So we're good. Now, without doing any calculator work, any long multiplication, we can look at the picture and answer the questions. I love these visuals. I think they are so nice. You never need a calculator if you use this. So 25% of 16, I can see 25% of $16 is $4. What's 50%? Well, 25 plus 25 is 50. So what is 50%? 4 plus 4, $8. And you're probably thinking, oh, I could have done that in my head. Well, what if it was 538 or something like that? This, we gave you small numbers on purpose, just so you could understand the process, but it works for large numbers great too. So this says 75%. So 25 plus 25 plus 25 is 75. So how much money is that? 4, 8, $12. Because usually what students would do is they go 0.25 times 16 and they do this big long multiplication problem, 0.50 times 16. But now you can get all the answers just from looking at the picture. Pretty cool beans, I think. So 100% of 16, that means the whole bar, 4, 8, 12, 16 is 16. And 100% of anything is always itself. So don't really need the bar for that. Cool, huh? So that works like when you have 20 percentages that are divisible by 20, like 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Percentages that are divisible by 10, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, by 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. So anything that goes into 100 evenly, you could use this box for, this picture. You would just divide it differently. If it was 5%, you'd have 20 boxes, each with 5%. If it was 10%, you'd have 10 boxes of 10%. So it changes based on the percent. So what do we do when it's not 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 or 25? Then we'll jump to multiplication. But why do multiplication and all that work when you can just read the answer from the picture? And it makes you understand it better too, looking at the picture. So divide the bar into 10 equal parts. Okay, so let's cut it in half first, and then each piece needs to be cut into 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So somewhat equal. The entire unit is $50. And this is usually where students get confused. They're like, well, how do I know what the dollar amount is? Well, count how many boxes there are. We just divided into 10 equal parts. So couldn't you divide 50 by 10 and figure out what each one is? So 50 divided by 10. The zeros cross out, so that means each box is $5. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. I know these 10s are kind of tedious. You'll really think so by the time we get to the end. You'll be like, really? So if I want to check my work, I go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Yep, that's right. Now we need to put the percents in. Well, this whole thing is 100. So if we divided 100% into 10 equal pieces, 100 divided by 10 means each piece is 10%, right? So this is 10%. This is 10%. This box represents 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. So now all we have to do is look at the picture and all of our answers are there. What is 10% of 50? Well, this whole thing's 50. What's 10% of $50? $5. This should have a dollar sign, by the way. What's 70% of 50? So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So it's this part of the picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, $35. Is this the most awesome thing or not? I always have students every semester go, oh my gosh, I'm like 20 some years old. I've never understood percents. But now when I see you draw a picture, it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. You just have to know the whole is 100%, and then they usually give you what the whole is also as a dollar amount. And then you divide it up, figure out what each box is. There you go. And I would show this workout to the side so you can see why you got $5, why you knew each was 10%, because they said 10 equal parts. So that's why I took the money divided by 10 and the percent divided by 10 to get the money for each box and the percent for each box. Okay, now we're going to do one that's 30%. So does everybody agree we have to do 10s? 10, 20, 30. We can't do 25s. We could do 5s, but 10 would be less. So that's probably the number one thing that you need to concentrate on. If it's 25%, you do 4 boxes. If it's 30%, because 10 goes into that, you do 10 boxes. If it's 75%, you do 4 boxes because that's divisible by 25. So you have to know whether to divide it into, if it was 40%, then I do 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. I'd cut it into 20%. So you have to look at the percent and know how many boxes to make. So I know 10 goes into it. So I'm going to do 10 boxes again. Yeah, I know, tedious. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side. So this one just wants 30%. So let's just do the first three because I know you guys are probably already getting bored with this. And then we'll just go all the way down to the last one. And we can add, see if it makes 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Yep, still got 100% there. And then it says 30% of 120, so that means this is all 120. But now we need to decide what dollar amount goes there. So remember what I said? You take the dollar amount divided by how many boxes there are. There's 10 boxes. So 120 divided by 10 boxes, cross out a 0. 12 divided by 1 says each box is $12. So $12, $12, $12, blah, 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 $12. And if you're not sure it's right, you can add them all up, or you can go 10 boxes, 12 times 10. Yep, that's $120. So now can you answer the question? I can. So what's 30% of that? 30% of $120 is 12 plus 12 plus 12. So we could say 12 times 3. So $36. Aren't these fun? I love these. I think it's fun to draw these boxes, much more fun than doing the algebra part. So, like I said, your test is not going to have those on it. So you want to make sure you make your own for your test, because this is so easy just to be able to look at a picture and tell the answer. And the more you practice on your homework on Alex, I think the better you'll get at these. Okay, so I think we have time to maybe do a couple here. And then we'll have to continue with the last video. Okay, 4 is telling us to divide it into 10 again. I'm kind of bored with green. I'm going to go to yellow. So 10. So cut it in half, and then 5 on each side. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And label both percentages and dollar amounts. So we know this is 100% because it's a whole. And we don't know the dollar amount. So let's go ahead and put our 10% in. This is probably one that students struggle with more than the other type. I think it's just because they don't read carefully. Because it says 210 is 70%. So think about that. 210 is 70%. So here we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So this is key right here. $210 is 70%. 210 is not the whole. And that's what students do wrong on this problem on the test. They label this 210 and then they divide it by 10 and they get $21.21. That is not what it says. It says $210 is 70%. So from here to here is $210, not the unit. And that is key that you notice that, not the unit, only 70%. So this time, because it's only 7 boxes, I don't divide by 10, I divide by 7 boxes because 210 is 70%. So 21 divided by 7 is